My best advice for people who aren't sure is to get started now. I've recommended Pivot to so many of our closest friends because I wish I'd started with Pivot years before. It's never too early to start thinking about adulting and getting your finances sorted. It's not scary, it's so beneficial, and there's so much more freedom that comes along with it when you just take it by the reins. And the other great thing is you're not on your own, you're not in there by yourself. You've got this team of people around you who are trying to help you be successful, and that's a terrific feeling. And you get to ask really dumb questions along the way and not be made to feel dumb when you ask them. And you just get smarter through the process, and I can't imagine why you'd want to wait to do that.
I think if there was one thing that I'd tell myself, or my past self, if I was to meet him again to say, why should you get financial advice, I think, or what could alleviate past Scott or future Scott's concerns would be the benefits definitely outweigh the initial cost. I was a little bit nervous about signing on at first, but now I think there's no better investment I could have made.
If I was in the situation, or if somebody wasn't sure about getting financial advice, to me it's just a small amount of money to be able to get everything right and to set yourself up for the future. So if you've got any concern about setting things up and having everything right, I just think talking to an expert is the best thing that you can do to set yourself up for the future, because there's so many areas out there. Documents are hard to read, the whole finance space is really hard to understand, so when somebody understands that and you can outsource that, it's the best.
I think anybody potentially considering going down this path or seeking out financial advice, or even if they're not sure whether they need it, I just recommend anybody to get in touch and take those first steps. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and for me there was a lot about finances and financial advice I didn't know, so just taking those steps initially really helped me realize that I did need help. I think if you reach out, then it's very quick to make a decision of whether it's something you want to move forward with. But I think for anybody that wants to get ahead financially, even for the long term, it's definitely worth exploring.
If you were sitting on the fence about whether to take financial advice or not, the reality is you should speak to several financial advisors to understand the differences between them. I'd done that. I'd spoken to 5 or 6 different advisors before meeting Ben, and it was a very simple process of going, this is actually simple, it's different, it's going to take a lot of stress out of my understanding of my financial position and my ability to invest effectively and safely, whilst maintaining my lifestyle at the same time. So definitely anyone should do their research and see if it's the right option for them. But for me, it was kind of a natural choice to actually go with Pivot.
Probably the advice I would give if someone was unsure if they wanted to get some financial advice would be to reach out and just start the process. There's a couple of meetings you can have that are really low commitment early on that really tell you if it's right or not. You don't know what you don't know, I think, with financial advice. My perception of financial advice was completely different before joining Pivot to what it is now. And so, you just don't know the information that you're going to give and how much it's going to open your eyes to what you can do with your money.
Yeah, I think I kind of echo that. You just kind of have to be in a point where you're ready to take on information and sort of help get that education, and then once you know a little bit more, then you can make that decision if it is right for you or not.
The only thing you've got to really be willing to do is just to listen and to be open to learning a little bit.
For someone who's on the fence when it comes to whether they should or they shouldn't go down the path of seeking financial advice, I would say that the biggest benefit that I've found is the clarity. That ability to really be making informed decisions. I think and for me, when I was sitting on the fence and I was unsure as to where to jump, I just felt swamped in options that I wasn't really clear about. So I would say that clarity piece was crucial.
I think it's important to know that if you're on the fence about getting financial advice, is that it it is tailored to work for you. It's not some cookie cutter thing that's just, oh, you know, put this here, put that there. It takes into account your own life circumstances and what you're looking for, and that was the biggest thing for us as we got into it. Is it was relevant for us and our lifestyle and our goals.
Well, I think what we always say is that having Ben is like having a personal trainer. It holds you accountable for your money, and it makes you want to continue to improve and to succeed. So even though potentially you could do it on your own, you might not get the results that you're hoping for straight away or even at all. So having someone to help you and motivate you and support you throughout your financial journey is really helpful, and we wouldn't be where we were today without this.